So when it comes to the muscle up, I'm a big fan of learning the muscle up as a strict movement. When you go to kip it, that's great, but there are all kinds of things that start to fall apart in that moment. So we'll talk about both today. I won't set any hard and fast rule about whether you get to kip or not. So I do want to go over the kipping pull-up, because at the very least, you're going to kip your pull-up. Why wouldn't you kip yourself to here and then do all this work business if you're not going to kip the actual muscle up? So I want you to get on your mats and lie on your backs. For anybody who doesn't know what I do, my real job is I coach gymnastics. So I'm really into the shaping, and this is the position that's the most efficient. And how do you get there? What does that look like on the ground before I get you moving in space and expect you to find the right position? Because it's a lot less likely to happen once there's speed. When you lie down, you're more able to focus. So make your legs straight, put your feet together, and find some tension on that lower half of your body. CrossFit a lot, you hear about the hollow body position. I want you to leave your feet on the ground today. It might be different than what you're used to. Take your arms up over your head. If you can grab onto your own hands and get a little more tension, that's great. And I want you to lift just your head and shoulders off the mat and come up into that hollow shape. Good. We're going to do that 3 times. This shape comes in handy. Ready, and up. Who was I going for? It was TJ. Can you get a little more, but keep this open? Good. Can you come a little higher? You can curl. Yeah, I like that. 5, 4, 3. Good. You're working it. Can you pull them back here? 2, down. Good. Roll over onto your stomachs. Okay. So I kind of think that in CrossFit, arch is a dirty word. There's really nothing wrong with arching. If your butt is tight and it's happening mostly through your shoulders, you're totally good to go. So you're going to lie on your stomachs. You're going to put your arms by your ears, put your forehead into the mat. I want you to make your body as long as you possibly can. Squeeze your butt and lift your arms and legs up off the ground and arch and hold. 10. This is the opposite of your hollow shape. More shoulders, TJ, if you can. 9. Yeah, that way. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Head down, Amy. 3, 2, and down. I'm going to warm you up with a few push-ups and pull-ups, but it's very intentionally leading us into the muscle up. There are a couple of things I want you to think about today when you hold on to the pull-up bar. Make it so you can see my hands. The first thing is that if I hang here, whether my thumbs are around or not, it's better illustrated this way. Can you see that my wrist is straight and my arm is really long? I have a long way to pull when I hang on with this set of knuckles on top of the bar. It's a really long trip. I can shorten that just slightly by getting as much of my hand on top of the bar as possible. Can you see now that I have an angle to my wrist, that I actually have a fair amount of weight on top of the bar, and now the path I have to take is shorter. So when we go and we talk about the false grip in a little bit, you're trying to do that same thing. You're trying to shorten it, get some weight on top of the bar, and then pull from there. 5 pull-ups, 5 push-ups, 3 rounds. I would prefer you work in an over grip unless you have a physical limitation. You're not going to muscle up in an under grip. Yeah. So I need a little volunteer. It's a great way to illustrate it. So my other thing, I coach gymnastics and I'm used to working with kids. So every now and then you're going to pick that up in my mannerisms and be like, why is she doing that? Oh, she works with kids. That's right. So just be forewarned a little bit. So Nicole, I want you to come and I want you to take this bar for our purpose and I want you to rotate it in my hand. Spin it. Make it spin. Well, why can't you make it spin? What the hell?
Because you're so strong.
Okay,
Lori.
because I'm squeezing the bar, right? I'm squeezing the bar as hard as I can so it cannot move in my hand. Now I want you to spin the bar in my hand. Okay, now she can spin the bar in my hand, and you can imagine that if I were to do a pull-up, I could still hang. There's no reason, thank you, that's good. There's no reason I need to squeeze the bar. My hand very naturally forms a hook that I can hang from. Gripping does not necessarily make the hooking action any stronger. So when we go to try the muscle up, you're going to find that if you can hook your hand and allow the ring to move, you're going to be a lot more successful than if you're squeezing that ring. Then you cannot make the transition and end up on top because it hasn't moved in your hand. So in the false grip, I'm getting as much of my wrist on top of that ring as possible. And I want you to notice I can wiggle my fingers. I'm very much doing exactly what I told you. I am in no way gripping that ring. I've formed a hook. The weight that I feel is actually right down in my wrist. It has not much to do with my hand at this point. I'm hanging almost all the way by my wrist. It's kind of uncomfortable. And I'm doing my best to reach to the back half of the ring. I don't feel like all of you can see me very well. The false grip can't be established under here. I'm holding on to the half of the ring, it spins, as close to my head as I possibly can. And that's where I'm gonna go ahead and do my muscle up from. So all I wanna see is everybody finding this and just feeling the false grip. I just want you to find this grip. Once you think you have it, see if you can wiggle your fingers. Yep, exactly. That's your false grip right there. Yep. You can wiggle your fingers. You're in the back half of the ring and you feel pressure under your wrist when you let. Yeah, right there. Mine's already all red from down. Yes, exactly. I like that a lot. Let's see, Olivia. Yeah, perfect. Yep, good. That's it. Nice. Okay. So now, next thing, I want you to find your false grip and I just want you to hang in it. Just give me a 5-second hang in that grip. Can you maintain it when your feet go away? Not everybody can. You're going to probably end up hanging on bent arms. I'm good with that. Come on, that's fabulous. You've got as much of that ring in your hand as you possibly can. Olivia, that's really nice. That's exactly right. And just tuck your feet up. Yep, just pick your feet right up from under you. Nice. And I like that you're keeping your head neutral. That looks great. Exactly right. Yes, it's a beautiful grip. Really good. Okay. Now is the perfect chance to talk about your wrists. I got bloodied and torn and blistered forever before I figured this out, and it was like magic. So a lot of people already went and put tape around their wrist, and I think that's a good way to do it. You don't have to do this right now, but it's a good break time. My favorite way to tape the wrist for a muscle up. Piece of tape, split it down the middle. That split part goes around my thumb. I take this around the back of my hand. I made it a little short. I like it to be able to touch when it hits my wrist. This piece comes around. I wrap the whole thing. I made this too short. And I've never ever had this bother me in any way. It lets me have full range of my wrist, and it completely covers what, hopefully right there you can see, that's where that ring is sitting when you go to start the muscle up. So this is my favorite way to tape your wrists. If anybody needs to do it at any time, but I think it's a good side note.